Cassius, during the past few weeks, you've been centering your interest around these squabbles you've been having with Sonny Liston down here. You've got to fight Doug Jones. Don't you think it's about time you started concentrating on this boy? He's a pretty good fighter.
No, I'm not concentrating on Doug Jones. He's nothing but a bum. Sonny Liston is the man I want. I'm not thinking about Doug Jones. Jones will fall in 6, and I might cut it to 3.
You know, if this boy upsets you, you've had it as far as...
If Jones upset me, I will retire.
I know that you're perhaps all aware that this committee has made a rough draft of a proposed bill that would, in effect, outlaw boxing, professional boxing in the state of New York.
So the New York State legislature had a subcommittee that was investigating the abolishment of boxing in New York State. And it was headed by a state assemblyman named Haywood Plumidor.
You have been giving some predictions about which round you would win in. Don't you think that these predictions that you're making and the fact that the last few fights have happened to end in the exact round that you stay have created a bad image of the general public of boxing?
See, the thing about boxing, and Ali was very, very smart, he knew this too. The thing about boxing is you always grab a headline, because nobody cares whether it's abolished. Nobody cares whether it stays. Because if you abolish it, they'll go fight on barges, and everybody will go to see them anyway, so what's the difference? But when you want a headline, you do this.
It is on record that I predicted 8 rounds on Archie Moore. He talked and talked and talked, so I cut it to 4. Now, I have had 11 fights, 11 of my predictors, just what would happen. Now, would you say that all of these people are crooks? All of the promoters are crooks?
I asked you the question.
Well, that's you to figure. I tell the people that I'm the greatest. So if I say he's going to fall in 5 and he falls in 5, well, that just makes me that much greater. Will it be a fix when Doug Jones falls in 6? I have predicted 6 on Doug Jones. Now, if he falls in 6, what would you say? That's another fix, huh?
I would say that there was an odor in the air.
The thing that I will most never forget about it is, A, they didn't ban boxing, which they weren't going to do anyway, but B, Haywood Plumidor, the gentleman who was doing the questioning, the state legislator, the first thing he did after the cameras stopped rolling and the hearing was over was to go to Muhammad Ali, then Cassius Clay, and say, please, Mr. Clay, would you mind posing with me for a picture?
A gag order imposed by New York's Boxing Commission does little to suppress Clay's message.
Two fights before he became champion were critical fights. Sonny Banks and Doug Jones, and you can make the case, which I don't personally subscribe to, but you could arguably make the case that both fights, the losers were jobbed. And with those 2 fights were 2 major fights in him getting to fight Liston for the title.
But the Louisville Lip, as Clay is now called, has trouble with Jones from the opening bell, and the 19,000 fans jammed into Madison Square Garden sense a big upset. Round 4 was his revised prediction, but Clay seems unable to find his rhythm.
Continues to come forward. There's some of that movement to the left by Clay, but Jones is not buying it. He seems to have an answer.
And the 4th round ends without a knockout. The crowd turns against him.
Tenth and final round. Right hand by Clay. Another right. He's trying to close impressively, but Jones is standing right there and countering. Backing up Clay against the ropes again. This is a struggle for Clay. Jones continuing to stalk him. And Clay ties him up again.
The fight is too close to call, and ringside there is much speculation that Clay has lost. But both judges score at 5-4-1 Clay, and the referee makes it a unanimous decision. Still undefeated, Clay is gearing up for his title shot.
Following a Florida evening spent watching Cassius Clay score a narrow victory over Doug Jones, heavyweight champion Sonny Liston resumes training at Miami Beach for his return bout with Floyd Patterson. After viewing that New York fight, Liston said that should he meet up with Clay, he's likely to be locked up for murder. Meanwhile, at Tropical Park in Miami, modest Floyd Patterson, the only fighter ever to regain the heavyweight title, tends to his training, abstaining from the battle of words that's erupted between the champion and contender Clay. Conditioning to do for the second time what no one has ever done even once. Floyd pursues time-honored boxing training exercises to perfect his footwork and his punching powers. He's confident that after his second meeting with Liston, he'll again affix the big title after his name. Undiscouraged by his close decision over Jones, loquacious Cassius Marcellus Clay keeps in shape to meet the winner of the tussle at Miami. Bobby Gleason's Bronx, New York gymnasium, Cassius Marcellus spars with his brother, Rudolph Valentino Clay.
All right, so he beats Doug Jones. And it's a nice win because it's the best fighter that's on his list. But he's a light heavyweight, and a blown-up light heavyweight at that. So Ali really has not beaten anyone, although everybody's now beginning to see some kind of talent. But he needs a little bit more in the way of credentials in order to fight Liston. Plus, Liston's got a rematch date with Patterson, so they take Ali to England. They take him to fight a journeyman heavyweight by the name of Henry Cooper.
What's all that noise, Cassius? Hey, how you doing? We just taking it easy before the Henry Cooper annihilation.
Listen, now, you got a new Cadillac here and a record player in a Cadillac. You're living like the champion. You're not the champion yet.
Well, I'm really the uncrowned champion.
Now, listen, Cassius, you got to fight this boy Cooper. You've been playing around for a long time, sporting it, as you say.
Yes, I'm not training too hard for this bum. Henry Cooper's nothing to me. If this bum go over 5 rounds, I won't return to the United States for 30 days. That's final.
Everybody loved Henry. The British loved Henry. The Americans who fought him loved him because Henry was very cooperative. He could fight. He looked good when he fought you. You had to be careful not to let him hit you with the left hand, which is all he had, because he'd knock your head off. But if you were careful, you would look as though you had conquered climbed a very formidable mountain, and you'd knock him out because the guy would bleed.
I wanted him to get Cooper out of there from round one. See, that was the danger of him predicting 4, you know what I mean, 5. So they sort of figured, well, let me get this guy in 4 or 5. It wasn't a put-up situation because the other guy is not cooperating. The other guy's looking to knock him out.
Clay is wearing the light trunks, Cooper in dark. A crushing left hook sends Clay to the canvas. The referee moves in to pick up the count, but the bell ends round 4. Clay walks wearily back to his corner. Cassius Clay's cornerman frantically preparing him for the 5th round.
I grabbed him. I brought him back into the corner. And the glove, which had been split in the seam, I helped it along a little bit and pushed it up. And I made the referee aware of the glove being split. Naturally, I didn't say anything before because he had his own way with Cooper. And he was just prancing, having a great time with that left jab and winning every round. But when this happened, I split the seam more and pulled up the leathers and let it stick out. The actual thing that happened, the referee went and asked the commission for other gloves. There was no gloves. Then they went back and they went to the dressing room. There was no glove. So I never took the glove off. I said, well, that's okay, we'll use these. But meanwhile, we got a little time, whatever it was.